We just now learned about DeMoivre's theorem. Now we will learn about distinct roots. They're similar. DeMoivre is basically taking something to the power. Distinct roots. You know this word roots. What it says is it is the square root or cube root or nth root or pth root. You know it can be any number. You should take a root. Now over here, this is the formula. You need to remember this, but it's simple as we break down. Now, we can only solve when the complex number is in the polar form. Look over here. You will be told, say, third root or cube root. Okay, so that means it is something like this. Okay, let me write as x. Do you know this cube root can also be written as exponent form as 1 divided by 3? This is one important thing which you must remember. Whenever you have root to something, it can be written as 1 by 3. So now if they tell you cube root over here, instead of this number, you can write anything, p. Okay, but now if they ask you 3, so that must be over here 3. And then in the angle, we don't square or root the angle. We multiply, add or divide. So now theta will be added by 2n pi and divided by the root. This will be all 3. So now it's very simple, like the DeMoivre's theorem in the previous section we saw that. It was very easy. But what is this extra part n? That is the extra part. Now, if I say cube root, that means there will be 3 answers for this complex number. There will be 3 answers. So now this n starts from 0, 1, for 3, it will stop at 2. Why? Because it will stop at 2, sorry. 1, 2 and third root, you will get 3 root answers. When we solve, you'll understand you need to take one case as n is equal to 0, then n is equal to 1 and 2 and you will get the answer. Now let us look into a problem. It'll be much clearer. Now find the fourth roots of -4 minus 4i. This is very interesting because a and b are same value but they are negative. So when you find the angle, you must remember you need to add pi, and r is very simple. We have done this. Let's quickly do it. R value over here. Sorry. Now here square root of a square, it's -4 the whole square plus again -4 the whole square. The answer is 4 root 2. Okay. Now what about theta? It is tan inverse -4 by -4, it will be 1. So I'll just write 1. But don't forget the pi plus pi over here. If you're getting confused why I've written 1, it's the same thing, right? It cancels. Because it's negative, a value is negative, I've written pi. It must be in radian mode. If it's not, press shift mode and 4, and the answer is 5 pi by 4. Okay, that is the answer. And now we got our question in polar form. Radius cos theta, I sine theta. That's fine. Now remember the distinct root formula. This is the formula. Here pth root, it's fourth root. So you must change this p to 4 and rearrange and write this. All I'm doing is writing over here r to the power 1 by 4 cos, if you see over here, it'll be 5 pi by 4. That's the theta value. But what about this? 2 times n pi is in the formula, divided by p is 4. N is unknown, leave it for now. Let's simplify this as much as possible. Now over here, if you put this in calculator, now say, open the bracket, 4 root 2. They will only give you a decimal value, say this. It'll be 1.454. How do you solve otherwise is, now you have root 2, leave the power outside, okay? Leave this over here. How can you write 4 in terms of square root? When is 4 a square root? Like how can you write it? So we know 4 is basically square root 16. Okay, how do we write this? Square this and write the square root, right? If it's 4, square it and write the square root. It is 4 square is 16. That's how we write it. Okay. So now, what else? Now you can see over here, these are two same things. You can multiply them. 16 times 2. When you bring them inside, multiply them. 16 times 2 is 32. Sorry, 32. Over here it is square root, right? 2 it is generally. And you're 1 by 4. Now if you're bringing this over here, just remember whatever is below will be multiplied to this. That's it. Whatever is below, multiply. Up will be, powered over here, but it's 1, leave it. 4 will be multiplied over here. It will be 8. 4 times 2 or 2 times 4 is 8. 32. This is the answer. Let's check the answer. We had got 1.54. Now I will take over here shift and this symbol. What is it? 8 and 32. You can see the answer will be the same. So that is the answer. Okay. And what about this? Split the denominators. We have 5 pi by 4 plus 2n pi, sorry. And now you can split the denominator. This 4 can be split over here. It will be multiplied by 4 because it's the denominator, and over here divide by 4. 4 times 4 is 16, and 2 times 2 ones are 2 twos are. You will get n pi by 2. So that's how we get this. We are just trying to simplify as much as possible. Now this is the simplified form. Okay, leave it over there. Now we need to use appropriate n values and find what? Find the roots. So first we need to start with 0, 1, 2, 3. Don't come to 4. 1 less than 4. That is 3. Why? Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4 digits now. Substitute n equals 0. You will get the same thing, but over here n, look at the n value is 0. That's the only difference. Now if that is the case, use your calculator and solve it now. It should be in radian mode. 5 pi by 16 plus 0, everything will be 0 itself. So that's it. Okay. Now you don't need to do that, but you need to simplify, right? Over here, what is it? It is not polar, it's rectangular. So how do we get it? Here you need to put cos. Now look over here, the answer, oh sorry, this is not the answer. This is the answer for 0.55 over here, and you can write it as 0.56 sine. What is the sine value? 0.83. Is this over? No, we need to multiply this number, this thing over here. So it will be shift and to the power 8 32 multiply with cos. You can write over here cos pi by 4, but I just found the value, so I'll write 0.55. Now this is your answer. Okay, why it is 5.6? Because over here you can approximate it to 5.6, I believe. So now you will get the answer. Same thing over here, it is done. Instead of 5.6, you have to multiply 8.3. That is 1.28. Now, if you're getting much confused, don't worry. Look, 8th root 32 multiplied by cos 5 pi by 4. 5 pi by, sorry, not by 4, it's by 16. Close the bracket. That is your first answer over here. And then you need to change that to sine, because you have to multiply this inside for both, and you will get the answer 1.28. Now this is the rectangular form. Okay, so this is from polar to rectangular. This conversion, we have done it so many times by now. Same thing, you have to change it to 1. But look over here, when it is 1, it little changes. What changes is this. It will be 5 pi by 16 plus pi by 2. So it will be pi divided by 2. And now you will get the answer 13 by 16. And then same procedure, convert to rectangular form. So this is your second answer. Same way you need to continue to do it to 2. So n is equal to 2. And over here n value only changes to 2. The same formula. And lastly we have to do it for 3, n value changes. Now, this is not difficult. If you understand one step, it is the same repetition. You have to repeat it over and over till n values are found out. It's the fourth root, so you have to repeat it so many times. So the final answer, the fourth roots are approximately, this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these are the answers for the distinct roots, or fourth root for this given one. And remember, we generally write the roots in rectangular form, but if you have to solve or use the formula, we have to use the polar form. Convert to polar form, apply the formula, and then convert back to the rectangular form.